How's it going, everyone? I'm Landan with LMR.com. We are now inside the Rapid Red 20 GT500. We're going to take it around the block, see what it's like to drive this thing, and give you guys kind of my point of view, my feedback on this car. So let's roll it. All right, let's put this sucker in manual mode. Yep, trim it claims less than 1/10 of a second. And for those of you wondering, 1/10 of a second is about as fast as we blink our eyes. So that's lightning fast. 2020 GT500, man. I love my job, but there's days that I really love my job. And today is one of those days. But man, this interior is a really nice place to be. Standard issue S550, of course, with some GT500 exclusivity in here. Exposed carbon fiber dash, which is absolutely sick. Gotta go get some gas. I mean, traditional 2015 and newer S550 interior, obviously, you know, with some GT500 specifics, such as the center console to accommodate the gear select knob, which is at this point GT500 exclusive, with the 7-speed Tremec DCT or dual clutch transmission. That is freaking sweet. That dude about broke his neck, bro. Oh, I love it, man. People look at it like it's, you know, a supercar, and it is in its own way, you know. Supercar, pony car, sports car, whatever car. It's a sweet car. GT500. Well, 93 is $2.49. Regular's $1.99. What do y'all want to do? Should we do the 87 octane? Just kidding. Don't do that. It's probably the first fill up for this car. It's pretty sweet, man. God, dude, those brakes, bro. Those brakes are ridiculous. Melt your face. Dang, that's it.
We were waiting out here in the cold just to hear it start up.
Oh, really? I'll make sure it's in the track mode. Y'all take it easy. All right, so the first feel of the 2020 GT500, man, is pretty surreal. It's a very docile 760 horsepower. I mean, you really don't know this thing has it. That is for sure. That is absolutely for sure. Power is handled well throughout the entire drivetrain. The DCT, dude, this thing's crazy. I mean, in its own way, because it's so unique. I mean, how can it compare to shifting gears? I don't know. I mean, they're both polar opposites. I think you just got to prefer manual. You got to prefer automatic. They both offer completely different experiences. So, you know, take that for what it's worth. I like the DCT because, again, it's something completely different. It's a first for a Mustang. And of course, you know, what better Mustang to put it in than, you know, the Halo Mustang for Ford. So you could probably definitely see more of this transmission in the future. This steering wheel's nice. Alcantara throughout, except the little bottom piece here, flat bottom. This is leather, and then of course your white, or it looks like silver orientation line for when you're at the track and for steering wheel orientation. Sight line, orientation line. It's called multiple different things. I know when I first drove our yellow S550, I thought to myself, this is such a driver's car, comparing it to cars prior to the S550 chassis. Of course, with the return of the IRS in the S550, really made the car so much different. I mean, it handled better, it seemed quieter, and of course, it may have been, you know, in your head because we were used to live axles. you know, for so long. And of course, the only Mustangs that had independent rear suspensions from the factory were the 99 and 99 through 04 Cobras. So on the note of it being a driver's car, this easily falls within that category. This is definitely a driver's car. The Magna-Rise suspension, the Michelin Pilot Sport 4S's, of course, which come on the non-carbon pack or track pack models, it's just, they do such a good job in making this thing so rewarding and so fun to drive. Again, making that 760 horsepower number seem so docile. All right, let's get out of the city limits here and get on the back roads. Oh man. It just goes, man. You know, I don't even know if this is my favorite car that Ford's made. You know, I mean, I've driven a lot of cars, thankfully, that Ford has made. I mean, obviously, Ford had a lot to live up to, you know, with the outgoing 2013 to 2014 GT500, which, you know, made a ground-pounding amount of horsepower and torque. Of course, they called, that was the 5.8 Trinity engine, you know, with a 2.3-liter supercharger. And the thing just, it got down and dirty. It really did. It was a handful. And that's one of my all-time favorite cars is the 1314 GT500. And I think probably my favorite, I'm going to have to lean on the GT350R. I mean, I like the long lungs, you know, 8250 RPM redline. I mean, life up there is quite awesome. Look at this stretch of road. Well, we could probably open this sucker up. I mean, the downshift's incredible. Downshift is as smooth and as quick as the upshift. Let's roll into this thing, see what we got. Oh my gosh. Yeah, not gonna disclose how fast that was, but holy crap. This thing just eats, man. It gives you confidence, it really does. The Ford engineers packaged this together very, very well. Dude, it just rows the boat, man. It just rows the boat. Like, when you get in something like this and you want to explain it to everybody, you're like, awesome, cool, sweet, awesome, cool, sweet, you know, you run out of things to say. I gotta give this thing the gear. Oh boy. Oh, hold on, baby. Gosh, dog, man. Kick-ass job, Ford. Kick-ass job. You knocked it out of the park, man. Oh, shoot. So now that we have a little bit of spirited driving under our belts just now, we'll take a look at a few of the vitals on the gauge. Engine oil temp is at 203. Of course, it's a cool day outside, so that's all these temperatures are givens, you know, because of the cool day. But engine oil temp is now, of course, 201. Trans oil temp is at a surprising 120. Differential fluid temperature is 165 degrees. So all of those are right on the money. And of course, you know, those were wide open throttle pulls. That wasn't a bunch of upshift, bunch of downshift, you know, like like there would be at a road race track. But Ford's claiming that, man, they are completely confident that you can go out to your local road race track or a road race track, wherever you want to take this thing, and beat really the dog snot out of this car, and it is going to hold up lap after lap after lap. Now, obviously, having some fun, doing some wide open throttle pulls, you got to come to a stop. And of course, these being the biggest brakes on any production Mustang, they will flat out melt your face. So as fast as this car is, it is going to stop you just as fast, it seems like. And as far as the brakes go, I think 16.5 front, 14.8 in the rear, 6-piston monoblock Brembo caliper front, 4-piston monoblock Brembo caliper in the rear. It's also first ever on a Mustang electric parking brake, so that's kind of cool. Now, as far as the exhaust modes go, of course, it has 4 different modes: quiet, normal, sport, and track. I don't know why you would go any other mode other than track. That's all I'm going to be driving it in, or that's all I would drive it in. And if you have a car, that's all I'd recommend you drive it in. It just sounds so damn good in track mode. Or, I mean, I know a lot of these cars are probably going to sit inside, you know, for good weather. And I mean, rightfully so. You know, everybody has their own preference on how they're going to drive their car. Some are going to drive in the snow, sleet, rain. They're not going to care, you know, and others are going to take it out, wash it, put it back up. But regardless, when you do drive it, it's a driver's car. I mean, it rides so well. The Magna Ride tuning is remarkable. Of course, the Michelin Pilot Sport 4S's, which are on this car, ride excellent. Of course, we're in manual mode right now on our gear select knob. And of course, what we have as far as our options, of course, park, reverse, neutral, and drive. And then here in the center, you have your M, which of course you push that to activate manual, or you push it again to deactivate manual. And of course, even when you do go to manual, you can upshift it and you can downshift it accordingly. And of course, if you are coming up to a stop sign or a red light, or, you know, or stop traffic, the car will downshift itself. Looking out over the hood, that heat extractor is pretty freaking sweet. Body lines on this car, well done. Obviously, S550 on the sides. They took similar styling from the GT350 and the GT350R, incorporated that in the front and the rear. There's also a ton more cooling in the front as well. That way those coolers can suck up as much air as possible and keep all of the vital components nice and cool, of course, while you're driving and the occasional track day. So the seats I'm sitting in here, these are not the Recaro option. This is just kind of your standard premium leather wrap seat that you would get in other S550 models, but they're still plenty comfortable. They do have some aggressive bolstering here on the sides or the kidneys, you know, to kind of keep you planted. So Ford did a really good job on this seat when they first designed it, and it's comfortable. It really is. The car feels just like a 350R. It really does. It may be crazy, but obviously they share some similar traits. But obviously the difference is when you pedal on your right. When you hit it, it's no longer a GT350R. It's a GT500. As far as the steering input, it's very, 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 very close to the 350 and 350R, if not the same. To me, anyways, they feel very close. Obviously, moving this car side to side, it does feel a touch heavier than your normal S550 or GT350, GT350R. Again, you know, there's a little bit more weight there with the supercharger system and all the cooling systems throughout. But we had this car on the scale, and if you haven't seen that video already, I would go check that one out. It's pretty light. I'm not going to tell you in this video because I want you to go watch the other one. The shifter paddles are pretty cool. Now, unlike your other non-DCT Mustang, so the 6R80, which is in the 15 to 17 S550s, and of course your 10R80, which is in your 2018 and current S550s, these paddles feel the same, but obviously because of the DCT, we're getting way more feedback as far as responsiveness and obviously how quick the transmission goes into the next gear or goes down a gear. I don't know what my favorite is anymore. I really don't. I like all Mustangs. 2000 Cobra R, 93 Cobra R, 95R, 2013, 2014 GT500. GT350, GT350R. Now we get a 2020 GT500. I mean, my goodness gracious. But if I guess I had to pick one favorite, man, I don't know. I like this car, man. I really do. I really like this car. It's a hard choice though. This or the 350R. I don't. Can I take the GT350R because it's a 6-speed manual, and can I take this car because it's a 7-speed DCT? We're gonna go with that. We're gonna go with that. So my favorite manual Mustang, GT350R, and I guess my favorite automatic Mustang is this bad to the bone 2020 GT500. All right, guys, that's going to conclude our ride along for the GT500. I know there's probably 100 other things we could probably go over, but hey, in a nutshell, this is the car, man. This is one badass piece of equipment, and it is hands down, in my opinion, and probably a lot of other people's opinion, that drive the car, the best Mustang ever made. Again, thank you, Mr. Keith Bush, for letting us borrow your car and get all the GT500 content. And other than that, guys, you know what to do for all things Mustang. Keep right here with the real enthusiasts. LMR.